Hello, this is Linguistics. I told you before that we're going to start a different set of classes right now because the introduction lasted 6 different lessons. That means we're going to focus on specific branches of linguistics from now on. We're going to start with phonetics and phonology, and most students confuse these terms. Why? Because they know that they are about sounds, but they do not distinguish them. So if you can see this on the platform, there is a chart with the difference between phonetics and phonology. So I'm going to go over these points one by one so that you can distinguish them. Phonology is an abstract study. Why is it an abstract study? Because it belongs to grammar, and it describes sound combination rules, but rules are not tangible. We cannot touch them. That means that's why phonology is said that is an abstract study, while phonetics is concrete. Why is it concrete? Because we can actually hear the sounds that we're studying. Therefore, we can say that concrete means physical audible sounds. Second difference between phonology and phonetics is that phonology studies rules of sound combination, meaning that it tells us which sound combinations are possible in your language and which are not. For example, the ST combination at the beginning of a word in Spanish is very common. For example, ST, Stroessner, for example. The tendency is to force that word into the Spanish phonology and pronounce it Stroessner, like that. So the very first syllable is changed because of the Spanish phonology. On the other hand, phonetics describes sounds. So it studies how sounds are produced and perceived by the speaker. We're going to focus then, once you get into phonetics and phonology, later on in second year, in this semester, we're going to focus on the description of sounds. How are vowel sounds pronounced? How are consonant sounds pronounced? How are they described? Which part of the mouth are involved in the production of the sound? Number 3 says that phonology studies phonemes and phonetics studies allophones. These are new terms and you need to read about them. Phonemes and allophones. But I have a picture so that you can see the difference. Okay. Let me show you. Can you see it? There. Okay. Notice that here you can see 4 different people thinking about the same thing, about a key. Okay. Let's suppose this guy is a 15-year-old Paraguayan guy and this guy is a 60-year-old Paraguayan guy. This lady is a Peruvian lady and this lady is an Argentinian lady. Okay. So look at that. All of them are thinking on the word llave, llave. The guy from Paraguay, the 60-year-old guy from Paraguay, he says llave, llave. While the boy says llave, llave. Then the lady from Peru, she pronounces llave, llave. And the lady from Argentina says llave, llave. That means the 4 of them are thinking on exactly the same sound. This concept of a sound, which is mental, which is abstract, which is intangible, is called a phoneme. Phonemes then are meaningful linguistic units that cannot be perceived by the sound. You cannot hear phonemes. You just think about the sounds. What you can hear are the different allophones or the different variants of sounds. Everyone pronounces differently. Everyone has their own idiolect, which is the production every individual production. So you speak a different Spanish from me and definitely a different English from me. Okay? So these two concepts need to be read in the textbook because they are super abstract and not very easy to understand. Phonemes, then, let's continue with this difference. Phonemes are represented by slant bars. So every time you look for a word in a dictionary, for example, you will find the definition of a word. But first, you will find a transcription in slant bars, and it has a very weird symbols next to them. Okay, so for example, the word apple. If you look up for the word apple, you will find the word apple, then an N next to it. N means noun, which is a word class, and then the transcription of the word apple. That transcription is a phonemic transcription, and it represents the phonemes. Phonemes are the correct pronunciation of sounds, okay? Because they are part of phonology and therefore part of grammar, then they represent the correct pronunciation. So I'm not supposed to say doctor according to the dictionary. I'm supposed to say doctor, like this. That's the correct grammatical way. Of course, we have allophones and we speak the way we want. Then it says, phonemes constitute the mental representation of sounds. It is the concept of a sound regarding meaning. Therefore, it's abstract, it's not tangible, we cannot hear them. While allophones are the physical realization of phonemes, they are real, audible sounds as they are produced. Okay? So what we actually hear is the different pronunciations of the same sound. Okay? Then it says, swapping phonemes alters the interpretation of the message. Why? If I say pet, and then I change the p sound for a b sound, then I will be saying bed instead. Pet, bed are two different words, two different meanings. But if I swap allophones, and it says that it does not alter the interpretation of the message, I can pronounce, for example, letter or letter, and it's exactly the same word, the same meaning. People understand it. So if I change t for r, then it's exactly the same. Changing allophones does not alter the meaning of the message. Very good. That's regarding the difference between phonology and phonetics. Then you have two different exercises, and we're going to start with sound awareness. Okay? And these two exercises that you can find on the platform are related to that, to sound awareness, so that we can actually think about sounds, and specifically the sounds of the English language. First, you need to write the stress mark, okay? Stress marks are like acento in Spanish, and in phonetics, they mark it differently. How? Well, look at this. Here you can read the word mama in Spanish. Notice that we write it like that. We write the stress mark, and the stress mark is just a puso, that you can see there, an apostrophe. So you write the apostrophe right before the stress syllable. So mama. So you write the stress mark before. Then you have the word cantina. So it has 3 syllables. Cantina. Where is the stress? In the second syllable. So you mark this, put the stress mark before the second syllable. Cantina. Then you have the word confirmación. Where is the stress? In ción, right? So confirmación, and you write the stress mark in ción. And finally, you have desesperante. So where is the stress mark? Desesperante. So ran has a stress mark, and you need to mark it right before the stress syllable. That's regarding stress mark. You have many words, you need to mark the stress. That's the only task that you need to do. Mark the stress. Write the stress mark in the correct syllable. The second exercise is a little bit more challenging. It's about counting sounds. Okay? So Notice that the first word is book. How many sounds does the word book have? Well, it's b, u, k, book. 3 sounds. Not letters, not syllables. Sounds. B, u, k, book. 3. Then we have calendar. We have k, a, l, e, n, d, r. And notice that they are 7. They are not 8 because the last syllable, a plus r, is pronounced It's not pronounced, you don't say calendar, no, it's calendar, der. So the last syllable, counts as one sound. Finally, this example, chart, notice that the first sound is 2 letters, C and H, but the sound is only one, ch. So ch, a, r, t, chart. Ch, a, r, t, chart. Like this. Now, there are some rules that we need to take into account when counting sounds. For example, A plus R are 2 different sounds. For example, in the word chart, you have A is one sound and R is another sound. Chart, 2 sounds. But these combinations, E plus R, I plus R, O plus R, U plus R, they count as one. Why do they count as one? Well, they are the 4 of them, E plus R, I plus R, O plus R, U plus R, are pronounced in English. They are not pronounced ir, or ur. They are pronounced in English. And that sound is just one. The CH, I said that it counts as one sound. The same happens with SH, is sh, is one sound, and TH is just one sound. So SH in she, for example, has 2 different sounds. Sh, e, she. And thanks, TH, has the sound s, e, k, s, thanks. So 5 sounds. Also, you need to take into account diphthongs. Diphthongs are 2 vowels together. Ow, a, I, o in English. For example, the word mouse. How many sounds does it have? Ow, s, mouse. 3 sounds. Plus the E is silent. Silent letters do not count as sounds. They are silent. You never count silent letters as one. Okay? So you have 2 tasks to do. Please do all of them. If you still have problems with the explanation, write to me. Don't worry about that. Okay? And I would like to check that. So maybe in our next meeting, we can check that. Okay? See you then. Goodbye.